Welcome to the third episode of You Grow Girl. I'm your host, Stacy C, and I am excited to be here for my third episode. And before we get started, I want to introduce my guest, Megan.
Hi,
Do you want to
everyone.
say hi?
Yeah, hi, everyone.
So, Megan was nice enough to say to be on my podcast today, and we're going to be talking about dating in 2025. I'm going to be talking about it from a mid 40-year-old, and Megan is in her late 30s. Am I right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, how you doing today, Megan? What you been doing on this lovely Sunday?
Oh my gosh, it is gorgeous today. I've actually was kind of a bum because I was up really late reading the last letter and I read the whole book last night. So I'm just like enjoying this Sunday.
Good, good. Is that about like dating as well?
Kind of. It's like a love story with a lot of tragedy in it. And usually I like Google the end of the book because I can't wait. I have no patience. But last night I was like, no, I'm not going to Google it. I'm not going to like ruin it for myself. So I just ended up reading the whole thing. But it's incredibly sad. So if you're like a very sensitive person, I do not recommend it.
Well, usually the ones that, you know, are sad and make you kind of like emotional, they're usually like the really good ones. I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it is really good, but it's not the heartbreak in the sense of like a romantic heartbreak. It's like a different kind of heartbreak that's just like really gut wrenching.
Oh, okay. Well, I have only been watching K-dramas, and most of my K-dramas are about romance and things, but not this one. It just happens to be about a teenager trying to have a study group. So that's what I've been watching. It's actually based on a webtoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the topic of discussion today. It is about dating again in 2025. What does it look like? We're going to talk about like some trends in dating, like what people are seeing. Are people actually dating in 2025, or are they calling it something else? So I just wanted to talk about dating because it is February and it's after Valentine's Day. And, a lot of people usually associate February with love. Did you have a nice Valentine's?
I did, but not in the romantical sense. So, as we all know, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl parade in Philly was on Valentine's Day, which ended up being perfect for me because I'm like recently going through a transition from a relationship and we're like figuring it out. And it was like one Valentine's Day where I didn't really think about it being Valentine's Day. And then I ended up getting dinner with an old friend. So that was also really nice. So it ended up being a great Valentine's Day, but not because I had anyone romantically to spend it with.
Well, that's always good. I just went to work and, you know how that is.
I think
So the first topic I want to talk about in dating is the dating sites. Are you on any dating sites?
so. I am currently on two dating sites. I'm on Tinder and I don't really love Bumble because like you have to reach out first and that's not something I'm like really good at, but have been trying to do it. And then Tinder is like a hot mess, but I'm still on it.
Well, before I was saved, I was on Tinder because I heard the reputation of Tinder, but since then I've gotten off of it. But I am on dating sites as well. I had Bumble. I may go back to it, and I have Hinge currently. Have you tried Hinge?
Few years ago before my most previous relationship, but I don't remember like having a ton of luck with it. So I kind of like just haven't gotten back into it. And now I like recently moved and I moved to a more secluded area. So I don't know if there would be like anyone on Hinge if I even tried, but I could give it a go. Although me and my best friend decided in March we're like not doing dating. Like we're cutting off men and we're cutting off the dating. So
Okay.
we're gonna see how that goes.
Well, I agree with you about Bumble because I know that if memory serves me right, the creator of Bumble made it so women could be the ones who initiate the point of contact with their potential person of interest. So I understand and I agree with you that that can be a little bit intimidating and, to reach out first. However, when I was on Bumble, I never really reached out. It was mostly the men liking me, and I'm going through the profiles and either saying yes or swiping left or whatever. Was that happening to you?
So, did you pay for Bumble? I never paid for anything, so I didn't know that like I could really see who liked me.
I would pay for them if they gave me like a discount. So like if they were say like the discounted price for a week, so then I could see who liked me. I was
Yeah.
able to do that way, but it was not nothing long term.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think if you don't pay for it, you can see who likes you. And I'm like really cheap. I'm not paying for that. So I just like I don't even message everyone. So like if we match, like I usually give it a few hours before I like really decide if I like want to message them or not. But and my messages are very generic. They're like, how's it going? Like, how's your weekend? They're nothing like corny. I don't really like corny introductions. So I don't know if that's to my benefit or not.
No, actually I hear a lot of people say that. They say they don't like to do the corny introductions or the basic thing like what do you like and everything or what's your favorite color. They want to get, to the meat and potatoes of
Yeah.
trying to build something.
Yeah. And then I feel like it's like a way to just weed them out right away. Like today, a guy messaged me on Tinder, and on my Tinder, it does say that I'm like figuring it out because I don't really know. I know that I want a relationship, but where I'm living right now is not where I want to be. So if I meet anyone here, like, I don't know that I want a long-term relationship with them because my current location is not where I want to be. And he asked me, like, what does figuring it out mean to you? And I told him that, just what I told you. And he said, that doesn't really answer my question. And I was so annoyed by that response that I just unmatched him. Like, I don't have time for this. And
Right.
yeah, I'm just not going to waste my time on that.
Right. I don't blame you. So I know like on Hinge, for me, I like it a little bit better because for Hinge, you can see who's actually verified. And for instance, like I'm verified on Hinge. So if someone sees my profile, they actually know it's me and not a catfish, for instance. So have you ever done like on any of the websites, actually you were aware that that was that person or have you been catfished?
I have been catfished, but it's been a while because I'm just recently got back on the apps, like maybe within the past couple weeks. And then I don't know if you've ever heard, there's these like Facebook sites that are called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And so women will like post all different crazy stories. And a lot of times women post like if a guy's a catfish. So I usually like try to verify the guys that I'm like talking to. And if they're on that site, then I immediately just don't even engage.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, so there's one for our area, and you definitely need to join it. It's called Are We Dating the
I can
Same
only
Guy?
imagine the
And
stories that
it's
must
like
be on there.
women post men, and if they're like they ask for tea or they like give their experiences about it being a red flag. And I know that I told you that there was like this pregnancy scandal with my ex cheating on me, and that's how I found out about it. I found out about it through that site on Facebook.
Wow. Wow. Well, just also talking about additional dating sites, like I know, as me being a Christian and being saved, I have never used any of the Christian websites, the ones that everyone says, like, goodness, what is the name of it?
Christian Mingle.
Kristen Mingle. I've never used Kristen Mingle because people are like, that's just not a good website, especially to meet a fellow Christian.
Okay.
Have you ever been on Christian Mingle?
I have not actually. My mom was on it before and I found her profile and I was like a little bit like, oh gosh, but I didn't really go too in depth with her about it. But I remember being like, my 55-year-old mother is on a dating site.
Go, mom. She's trying to find love. And I also wanted to touch on you because you just said that you and your best friend decided to do dating breaks. And I know for me, that has happened as well. Sometimes planned and unplanned. So what made you guys want to have like, a dating break right now?
Well, I think she's been more on like this journey of a break for a little longer than I have. And we actually, when I met my ex, we were on a break and I met him unexpectedly and didn't tell him about her for a while because we were supposed to be on a break. And then I finally told her. But yeah, I kind of had two relationships back to back. And then I went on a couple dates like after my most recent relationship, and they ended up being disasters, awful disasters. And she was just like, let's just give up men. And she's going to come visit me in a couple weeks. And I was like, okay. Like, so we decided no swiping, like no responding. And the way she worded it, I wasn't sure if we were allowed to respond or not. And then there's this one guy in my past that she really loves, and I'll call him Smith. And she said that he's the only guy that I'm allowed to respond to, that she like approves of him. So if he reaches out, I can respond to him, but no others. I cannot respond to anyone else.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, to have like a reset and kind of just like focus on ourselves. And like, I'm trying to find my true happiness, and obviously men are not adding to my happiness right now.
I understand. My best friend likes to call it like your person. So that's what you're trying to find, is your person.
Yeah. And, I really thought I found my person, and I gave up my whole life for him because I was like, for sure, he was my person. And he's in the military, and he was getting deployed, and we were going to stick together through it. And we did. We stuck together, but he came back like a very different person, and I still moved here for him, and it did not work out. So I think I'm still like grieving that loss, because I really thought that he was like my end game and who I was going to build my future with. And, it's like, it is a loss in a sense, because like now my future looks different than I thought it did. And I'm finally walking away from that relationship. I just saw him again, and I realized that like I'm better than that, and I deserve more than that. And like I deserve to be not only loved, but just like respected. And that's something he did not do, especially towards the end of our relationship.
Right. And that is so true. That's at the core of it. Everyone deserves to be loved and respected. And it's so funny you bring that up, because that's like the next topic I was going to get into. Do you find that there is honesty in dating?
I mean, I would like to believe that there is, but I've been on like a lot of dates. Like I have never been married before, and I've been on a lot of dates and a lot of guys. And, so I dated this one guy for off and on for like 4 years, and we met during the pandemic, and I always considered him like the guy that got away. He, in my eyes, was perfect. He was handsome. He had a really good job, and we always stayed in contact, and we were always like very friendly with each other. And he is a lawyer, so I would reach out to him a lot just for like different things. And so through the past 4 years, like when I haven't been dating someone, we've been like hanging out. Well, this summer we hung out, and I find out that he's had a kid the whole time, and he never told me about it. And I was like so taken back by that, because I thought we were at least friends. He also, I don't even know, I can't even be sure how many kids he has, because when we started talking again, he said he recently became a father, and that him and the father's mother like now live together. And we went to breakfast, I thought, as friends, but if I was, his son's mother, I would not appreciate what he was doing. And then me and my friends have become very good online investigators, and we found out that his son is not a baby and is in fact 4, and he had him before we met. We're being like, what the heck? And he texts me like maybe like a month or 2 later, like in the middle of the night, and I just went off on him, and then I never heard from him again.
That's crazy.
It really is insane. And then another time, I met this guy who I thought was great, and he was in the area for training, and not to like put biases on people, but those military boys gotta be careful, because he was in the military, and he told me that he was going through, like, he was divorced.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 kids, and I was like, okay, like I know, especially when you're getting to my age, it's hard to find someone without kids, so I was not against it. But come to find out, he was not divorced. And he was from Chicago, and he was in Jersey, and that's how we met. And I guess he was just cheating on his wife while he was in Jersey. And I found out through TikTok, because even when you're not friends with someone on TikTok, like if they're in your contacts, like they'll come up on your For You page.
Right.
And his like recent TikToks with his wife, and like his wife's TikToks have been coming up, and she portrays this like beautiful life that they have. And I often wonder, like, is that how she sees her life, or is that fake? Because your husband was cheating on you for 2 months with me. I really had no idea.
Oh my gosh, my mouth is open. That is crazy.
It is so crazy.
And then you think how stupid he is, because like you have him saved in your contacts and he comes up on I wouldn't even send the video to him.
To engage in that kind of stuff. Like sometimes like I think about it, but I'm just like, it's not really even worth my time. I hope, he like she's okay and he's like not hurting her, but I don't know. I don't know what the correct situation to do. But I'm just like disgusted. I honestly didn't know, and I never would have done it. But I'm like, what the heck? Like, what the heck? And we met on like a dating site, but like I hung out with him and like his coworkers, and they were like from all over because they were there for training. But then I was like mad at these other guys too, because like, do you think I'm an idiot? Like, were you gonna tell me that he was married?
Right. They're just like, co-signing to his infidelity. That
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. Or then you have guys who are honest, but like are still living with like their ex-girlfriends or their ex-wives, and they're like wanting to date. And I'm like, I appreciate your honesty, but I'm not getting involved in that.
Right. Right.
So it's just like, I don't know, this online dating, I hate it, honestly. Like, I wish that I could meet a guy like organically and naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forgive myself, because a few months ago, I did meet a guy at the gas station, but I was with my ex. And so obviously I didn't take him up on that offer. And now me and my ex are not together. And I'm like, I think that could have been the guy of my dreams. And I let him go. And he was an EMT. So now every time I'm in that area that I met him at, I like try to look out for him, because I don't know anything about him. I don't know his name. I just know that he was really funny, and he like got the courage to ask me if I was seeing someone, and I was. So maybe I'll run into him again.
You could. I mean, I know I believe in fate, so
I always look out for, see if I see an ambulance.
you could always call 911.
I have thought about that too. Like, one of my dreams is to publish a book. So sometimes I think, like, what if he would be the one to come save me? If that were to ever happen,
It would still be fate.
it would be.
I think that that there are some people that are honest on dating sites, and then also and dating, because I remember you were explaining to someone how you were trying to find your person, and I know for me, like, I just want to date, because I'm like, at the age I am now, I'm still trying to figure things out. So I feel like if I'm telling you that I'm figuring things out and I'm not sure what I'm looking for, then I'm being honest. But I've heard through my research and just looking and reading about dating in 2025 or the end of 2024, that some people feel that that's not honest. What do you think?
It is honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like people now, and especially today's time, are a lot more honest about dating multiple people and or being in open relationships. Do you find that as well?
Yes. And in my experience, a lot of guys want this whole like friends with benefits kind of situation. And that's great, but it's crazy to me that you need to go on a dating website to find someone to sleep with. And I don't mean to like sound like big or like arrogant, but like I don't need a dating website to do that. Like, I have people that if that's all I wanted, I could do that with, but I want a little more than that. So when I like explain to guys that I don't really want like, and friends with benefits, like, it's just such a turnoff, and that's the first thing a guy says to you is like, oh, I want friends with benefits, because I'm more than just sex, and I want to be looked at as that. And if that is something a guy wants, like, he's not going to get that from me.
Right. And I'm not, condoning or, I wouldn't accept if someone, if I'm seeing someone and he's telling me that he has an open relationship. That's not my cup of tea. I can't judge you or what you do, but I am going to play, as they say, devil's advocate. And if he's telling you that that's what he wants, he's actually being honest. So
Mhm.
we can't really knock him for that because he is being upfront and honest. He could lie to you and then
Yeah.
have you, really into him and you thinking that you're in a, a monogamous relationship. And then he's like, oh no, I was just, trying to have a situationship, as they call them now.
Yeah, it is that. Yeah. And I recently saw my ex and I had every intention of going into it with different scenario than it came out. And he was like pretty honest. And he said, I thought maybe him and his girlfriend were broken up, but they were not broken up. And he was clear about that. And I ended up leaving. I was like, I'm going to regret anything that happens. And when I got home, he wanted to like continue it and come to my house. And I said no. And he said sorry for the way that he acted. And I did say, I was like, you were honest about what you were feeling and your intentions. And that's why I walked away from that, because I just knew that I would regret it for me and I would regret it for your girlfriend and also the person that I want to be with. Because right now, one of my exes who we broke up because he ended up moving to a different state. He's who I really want to be with, I think. And I knew it just if I did anything, it wouldn't honor him. And
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Right. Let me preface this and say too, I probably shouldn't have said devil's advocate because I am not advocating for the devil. Let me make that clear. I am not advocating for the devil. I know it's a figure of speech, but as a Christian woman, a saving woman, let me just clarify that I'm not advocating for no devil. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you think that in this dating space that people are, or you per se, are you seeing red flags and are you like putting a stop to it or are you just ignoring them?
Well, I think most recently I'm putting a stop to it. Before I would definitely ignore them because I have a history of dating the wrong people. And I see a red flag and I know it's a red flag, but I still go through it. But I've learned that like now I'm just stopping it. So even if there's like a red flag, like I was just telling you about that site, Are We Dating the Same Guy? I was talking to a guy and he came up on that site and everyone said he was a catfish. So I just unmatched him. I don't have time for that. Or they'll say something that is just like doesn't sit right with me and I just stop the conversation. So one of my most recent dates, I ignored my gut feeling. I didn't think that we were compatible, but he is a really nice guy and he kept reaching out to me and I was like, maybe we should go for the nice guys. Like, I'm not going for the nice guys. And while we were together, he insulted me and we were talking about football. And he basically said that I didn't know about anything about football because we didn't like the same player. And to me, that's like a red flag when you insult like the person that you are trying to build a connection with, even if you don't mean to. But he was like minimizing me almost and saying that I didn't know as much about football because he was a guy and he played football. So I cut it off there too because I am too old to be insulted and for my like voice not to be heard.
I agree. And it's not showing you respect.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, well, this must be why you're single.
Hey, but then it makes me think like, why am I single? Like I think that I think that I'm a really good person. I have a great career. I think that I'm like attractive. I'm not like super big headed, but then I think like I'm 37 and I am still single and I've never been married. And sometimes like I don't even know if it's ever gonna happen for me.
It will. You just can't give up. It will. It'll happen when it's supposed to. And it'll be the perfect person for you and you'll be perfect for him. So you just can't get discouraged and can't give up. And sometimes it is hard and challenging because you're like, well, I keep going on these dates and things and it's not working out for me.
And I think honestly, when it comes from you, who is also single, it's a little more easy to believe that. But when my friends tell me that who are like married, I'm like, that's so easy for you to say when you are married.
Yeah, but then you think, your friends weren't always married. So
Yeah.
they had to get to that point, so, and then for you, when it happens, it will be, everything will fall into place. I know it will.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say, I was recently catfished, and I shared this with you at work. And I was on Hinge, and this young man, and I'm putting air quotes up, reached out to me on Hinge, and he was Korean. And anybody who knows me knows that I love Korean dramas. I love BTS. Like, they're in my top 5 things I don't play around with. And everyone knows too that, I am self-learning how to speak Korean. So this man reaches out to me. He's Korean, and we're chit-chatting, and it's early in the morning. Like, I'm getting ready for work. And he's telling me that he is from Busan, South Korea. And I'm like, oh, okay. Not really looking at him like, oh, I can date him. I'm thinking he could be my friend and we can do some language exchange so I can learn better Korean. But something just didn't sit right, because he was like, he was in the States, and he said that he was in South Carolina. But when I'm looking on his profile, his pictures all showed. Now, I watched enough Korean dramas to know what South Korea's streets look like. Okay, I didn't know where in South Korea, but I knew that was some South Korean streets in one of those cities. So I was like, something don't sit right. So I reported the profile, and I got an email from Hinge that the profile was flagged, and I guess it was a catfish or whatever. I wasn't disappointed at all. A little disappointed, because I was like, oh, I could have had a South Korean friend for some language exchange, but not disappointed in the aspect of dating.
Yes. And then I feel like when they get caught, they like get offended, or they like try to pin you as like the crazy person. Like, one time I caught a catfish because I did a reverse Google image search.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up calling me like crazy. And I was like, I don't think that that's crazy, because I'm using my resources around me. And this world is insane, especially like, women, we sometimes can be put in really dangerous positions. So I'm just trying to protect myself, especially when I don't know you from anywhere. And then I find out that, that is not you. It is a like Instagram model in LA.
Don't understand like why people are still doing this when MTV has had a whole show on catfishing. And we are in 2025 with all this AI technology.
Yes.
We have Google. And like you said, we can do Google imaging to run that. We have all this social media. So I don't understand why in today's age and time, people are still out here trying to catfish other people. That's ridiculous.
That's what you're like, using your energy to deceive people.
Yes. That means you have too much time on your hands.
Exactly. Which makes the dating world like seriously awful. Like, because you have to like vet through the catfish and the people that are married and the people that only want sexual relationships and don't really want to get to know you on a deeper level. Like, it is brutal. The dating world is brutal.
Yes. Like, people always say, what is it, the dating pool? And they always say it's urine in it. I'm like, it's more than just urine in it.
Yeah. Although I am excited about this. We'll see how it goes. I am gonna go to like this singles event at like this restaurant up north. My friend told me about it, and she's actually in like a relationship. And I was like, oh, I wish that you were still single. Like, you come with me. And she was like, I'll still go. Like, you can have a friend. And I was like, okay. And so we'll see how that goes. Like, it's just like this mingling event, but I was like, maybe it'll be good for me just to like get out there and meet people, even if I don't meet a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Technically breaking our no March man rule, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Go. That sounds exciting.
Yeah,
that sounds exciting. That was gonna go into my next topic of organic dating, because I've seen that people have said that they've tried more organic dating, like going in the community. And you just said you were going to go to that event. But is that event like more like, what is it called when you are dating and speed dating? Is it like a speed dating thing, or is it more like in a community?
I don't think so. I mean, it's at like a restaurant bar, and it's like a new bar. So I'm pretty sure that they're trying to like build up clientele. And there is like a cover, but I just think it's like an event that the bar is having.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know this one young lady was telling me about this app on, and I can't even think of what it's called, but like it kind of is. What happens is you sign up for this app and then you get to meet, like you go on a date at this bar, I mean a
Oh,
restaurant, and then you are on the date for a while, like a couple hours or whatever, or hour or whatever, and then you and all the other people that had their dates, you all meet up at like this bar, and or like in the main part of the restaurant, and you kind of like have a mingling event. And I was like, oh, I'd never heard of that. I have to find
God.
that app and put it on the episode. I'll put it in the
Yeah.
information. But yeah, this young lady that I follow on TikTok, because I listen to her dating stories.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, so she was telling me about that because she said she was going on a date that particular night, and she was telling me about that app. So I was like, oh, okay. And that kind of reminded me of it when you were talking about it, talking
Yeah.
about the event you're going to.
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked it up. It just says it's like a singles night and there's icebreakers, drink specials, and complimentary matchmaking.
Oh,
So
wow.
we will see how this goes.
You have to let me
Maybe,
know with a
yeah,
follow-up how it goes.
it's like in 2 weeks on March 6th. So, I mean, if anything, maybe it'll be like a good story,
Yeah, yeah.
which I have a good story for you of my friends trying to get me a date. So my ex, my best friend, hated him. He had put me through a lot and she did not like him. And she lives out in Pittsburgh and she really wanted me to go to Pittsburgh. And I was like, I always joked with her, like, I cannot move there without a job unless I meet like an NFL player or a baseball player or something. And so we went to a Pirates game and she had a sign and I didn't think anything of it at first, but the sign had my picture and my number on it and said, have you met my beautiful best friend, like Megan? And she's single. And that was embarrassing, but it was also really funny. But no one texted me. And I think it was like because my number was too small, which was like a little like sad. And then when she
Hmm.
wanted to put it on Instagram, I was like, you have to block my number out. Like, I don't want my number on Instagram. It's like a really good story. And even when I went to the Eagles parade last week, my best friend was like, you should have brought the sign. I was like, I didn't even think about that.
Well, that's like an organic way of meeting somebody as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe the sign will come through for me one day.
Yeah. I've also found too that people said like, going to church, meeting someone I guess at the church and church events, going to community events, which, I live in a relatively small town, so it's not a lot of community events and everything.
Yeah.
And usually everybody knows everyone. So
Yeah, I've experienced that too. And maybe I just need to get out more. I don't know.
what about, organic dating like through social media? Has anyone like, slid in your DMs as they say? Or I know Facebook offers Facebook dating
Yeah.
and
So I have been on Facebook dating. And I have gone through like a couple dates through that, but I think Facebook dating is like pretty similar to like Tinder or Bumble. And then as far as just like sliding into my DMs, I don't really have a big social media presence. Like I have under 100 followers on Instagram and Facebook. Like there's just a lot of people that I went to high school with or coworkers, and just like because of my profession, my social media is super private.
mhm.
So I haven't experienced that. I know like some people have, like some of my friends are like influencers and they do a lot with like fitness. So people are in their DMs all the time, but not so much for me. And sometimes I think like, although TikTok, people have been in my DMs through TikTok, which is super random because I don't post any TikTok, but I don't really engage in that because they could be anyone.
Right. Right. Same for me again, because my profession, my Facebook is private. Usually the people that are on my Facebook are like colleagues, but I keep my colleagues off my Instagram because I feel like my Instagram is more so me. So I'm free to think and post whatever I want. And it's private as well. My TikTok is public. And again, I do have people sliding in my DMs, but they're not asking me on a date. They're telling me that they're one of the BTS members. And sometimes for, kicks and giggles, I talk to them and they're telling me that they are one of the BTS members. And I'm like, no, you're just a BTS army like I am.
Yeah, that's just funny that you say that because I've had a lot of like messages from like Shabuzi, who I like love. And I know that it's not him because they have like 100 followers or something, but they like thank me for being a fan. And I don't even respond because like, I don't know, I'm not getting like engaging in that.
Right. And it's so crazy because they're like thanking you for being a fan and saying, this is my private account. I'm like, well, why do I have 15 other Jungkooks hitting me up all saying the same thing? All right. My next topic I wanted to talk about is singleness. Or do you think people are happy being single? And I'm asking that because like I think about like my daughter's age, they're Gen Z, and a lot of those kids aren't dating. And I'm calling them kids even though they're adults, but they're not dating. So do you think that, and even like my age, your age group, I've seen people say, I'm just not dating. I'm okay with my singleness.
Really depends. I think sometimes it is really hard to be single in the sense that you don't have anyone. So like if something happened, like last week my dishwasher broke and I had felt so lonely because I was by myself, like, and I had to figure it out myself. But then on like the opposite spectrum, you're also like, you don't have to worry about anyone else, or like you can do whatever you want. And like for me, I told you that I'm still like trying to find my happiness and like where I want to live, and I can go wherever I want. Like I don't have to worry about another person and their feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really depends. I think a lot of males are happy being single because they get the best of every world, basically. No, I think it's hard. I find being single really hard. And I don't love it, but I also do enjoy having my own space and not having to like report to anyone. You know, just being able to do whatever I want whenever I want it.
Right. Right. Also, I saw that Holly Berry, she was on the Today Show recently and she was talking about her new relationship. And I know a lot of people have talked about Sierra and, you know, because she married Russell Wilson. Do you think that these women both said, like, I know Sierra, she wrote a prayer, and Holly Berry said she had to change her way of thinking. Do you think that sometimes you have to like pivot or change the way that you think in your dating life? Like you may have to, you know, definitely manifest what you want or change what you're looking for.
Yeah, I do think that. I remember one time my best friend told me that like love is a choice and like you are choosing to love that person. And I think sometimes we have these like ideas of relationships and then you get into the relationship and it's not what you expected or not what you envisioned. And you have to decide if you're going to stay with that or, like you said, like alter your way of thinking and like
Mhm.
accommodate this.
Right. My last topic that I want to talk about is dating in your 30s, because you're in your 30s and in your 40s. I know for me, being closer to 50, I definitely want someone who, one of the qualities that I want, that I hold like very top up, you know, as far as ranking certain qualities. I want someone who is emotionally intelligent. I want someone who's able to have, you know, to be in touch with his feelings, to be able to express what he wants, his desires, be able to express his boundaries, you know, because I am going to as well. But do you think that men in their 30s, men in their 40s, do you think they have that, or are some of them still figuring it out?
I think they're still figuring it out. You know, you would hope that men like get better with age, but they don't. They don't at all. Yeah, I think no matter like what age bracket you are in, there will always be those men that are not honest or don't have like the most genuine intentions. And I
Hmm.
guess some guys just like never grow up. I don't know.
Right. Do you feel too that a lot of men are not great communicators, which goes with the lack of emotional intelligence?
I've met some guys that are really great at communicating and like really
Hmm.
open and honest. And then I've met some men that just are terrible communicators and don't really know how to communicate. And so I think it really just like, I think a lot of it depends on like their upbringing and like the kind of way that they were raised. And also like who they surround themselves with, even now. Like, if a guy has friends that are all doing the same thing he's doing, it's not likely that he's going to change.
Right. I know for me, like I said, being in my 40s, a couple things that come up for me. I'm 46, so, I'm thankful that I am 46. I pray that I continue to see multiple birthdays. But men that's my age, they are either in the grandparent stage or have newborns. And I don't want any parts of any one of those, okay? I'm just being honest. I am not. Don't invite me. And you and I have had this conversation. I'm just going to put it out here. Don't invite me to hang out with you and your grandbaby. That's not a good time for me. I'm glad that you have a great relationship with your grandbaby. Don't invite me to come to your baby's kindergarten graduation. I don't want to go there. And don't invite me to go to nobody's Great Wolf Lodge or no Six Flags, okay? First of all, I don't like it to be hot on me because I'm closer to menopausal age, and I ain't trying to be hot like twice as hot, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, it's just some things, like, at this age that I just don't want. And I know that may sound really, maybe some people may say that's, that's where people are at her age, and she might just have to roll with that. But I'm not at the grandparent age mindset right now. And I do not want to date somebody with little kids.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong in that because you don't have anything against that person. That's just not what you want in your life. And the thing that I've really learned is I always used to ask the guy, like, what he wanted. Like, what are we? But I'm done with that. Like, I'm going to tell you what I want. And if you can't live up to that, like, then you're going to walk away. Or, like, I'm going to walk away from you because I'm, like, done wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to be picky. And it's okay to build the life that you want because you are finding your own happiness. And something is not going to bring you joy, then don't engage in it.
Right.
So if going to Great Wolf Lodge, it was like a water park or something, like in the
kids
park is not to bring you joy, then don't do it.
I'm not going. Listen, my brother asked me that one day, and he got little kids, and I hate to be throwing my brother out there like that, but he has younger children than my daughter is an adult. Okay, one child that's an adult, and he asking me he said, "You invited me. You want to come to Great Wolf Lodge?" No, that is not a good time for me. Yeah. And he was like, "We can go to Six Flags and hang out." No, that is not a good time for me. First of all, I don't get on rides, number one, because I'm scared.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have a good time. It's hot. No, absolutely not.
And a lot
Don't invite me.
decision.
And one other thing that because of the age I am now, I have opened myself as far as changing some of my preferences. Before, I only wanted to date Black men, African-American men, born and raised here in America. But now I can say I'm open now to dating men in other races and maybe a younger age limit. And I'm saying maybe, and I mean like 40. And I do not want someone that is past 55 because I don't want to date somebody who could be my uncle.
Yeah.
Or my papa or my daddy.
I have tried to do that too because I usually go for the same type of men. And every time I like break that, it totally backfires and like blows up in my face. I usually date like Black or Latino men. I just am more attracted to them. And I was like, I'm going to break out of that mold. And when I did, it did not work out for me. I picked the restaurant and I picked this like nice Mexican restaurant that I was really excited to try. And this man shows up in a tie-dye sweatshirt and orange Crocs with those like action figures in them that my 10-year-old nephew has in his Crocs. I remember being like, and again, it has nothing to do with his race. Like anyone could have done that, but I remember being so turned off by that because you didn't put any effort into that at all. Mm-hmm. And like, I curled my hair. I was like looking really cute. And you show up in orange Crocs with like Superman in them. And I called my friend and I was like, never again. Never again am I dating like this type of person because it backfired in my feet.
Well, you can't hold it against one person. That just might have been him. And maybe he thought he was dressing up.
I know. And I know I can't, but I'm just saying, like, when I try to break that mold and go for a different type of person, it doesn't work out. But then I also just like fall into the same trend. Like, my ex was in the military, and I said, I am done dating military guys. And then I met this guy and he was really great. And he ended up being in the military too. I didn't know it at first. And then when he asked me, like, how do you feel about dating someone in the military? I'm like, oh gosh, like for real? But I really liked him and I gave him a shot. And that didn't work out either. But it ended more amicably. It didn't work out because he moved. But now I'm like really done. Like I'm moving on from the military. And maybe I just need to find something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you don't have to move on. Just be open to dating people who have different professions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could go on and on and on about dating and the different topics of dating and, share our stories, even though I don't have any because I just started back dating again really quickly. I took a break from like anything when my mom was sick, especially because my main focus was just trying to help my mom and raise my daughter. And then when she passed away, I was grieving, so I couldn't date anybody because I was just surviving. So I'm now at the spot in my life where, I started back, trying to get back into this dating thing. And, it was funny really quickly. What inspired me was my own daughter because she was on dating sites and I'm like, okay, if my kid is out here trying to date on dating sites, I guess I should too. So she's probably be angry that I put that out there, but she'll be okay.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminds me of like the Hunger Games, like the whole dating world. So I guess I wish us both luck. And we'll have some really good stories to exchange.
Yes, definitely. So this is the conclusion of the 3rd episode of You Grow Girl. I hope that we gave you guys some fun and some insight onto dating. And I want you to, drop a comment. Tell us what dating sites that you are using. Tell us some dating stories. It doesn't all have to be negative. It could be some good dating stories. If you're married, tell us how you met. And I thank you for listening to You Grow Girl. And Megan, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was my first podcast.
Yeah, so it won't be your last.
No, I loved it. I would be honored to come back.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and look forward to the next.